Hello, I saw your question on the discussion board about, specific about finding the critical value. I'm on page 368, this section 7.2. I know you're in 7.4, but critical values covered a little bit earlier. And I guess they give you the 4 steps for finding critical values, and you have three different options. And over here they give you kind of the most common cases you encounter in the homework. So you can have a left-tailed test, alpha, right-tailed, or two-tailed test. So finding the critical values in the standard normal distribution. So the homework problem, they'll specify alpha. Alpha might be 0.1 or 0.05 or 0.01 or some other value. Alpha will be specified in the problem. Then you got to, typically the problems have you determine, is it left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed? So if we just say alpha's 0.1, that would mean this area here, this area shaded blue, that area, equals 0.1. Or if it's right-tailed, that area would be 0.1. If it's two-tailed, then it's going to be half of the 0.1, or it's going to be 0.05 here, and the other the other 0.05 over here. So so I'm just taking case. Let's say they say 0.1, critical value is 0.1. That would be referring to this area 0.1 on the left or the right, or split between these two, which would be 0.05 each. So determine whether it's left or right tailed. You got to figure that out from the question. Now you want to find the critical value. That's what you're asking. Well, if it's a left-tailed test, find the z-score that corresponds to this area. So how do you find the z-score? Well, you could use the table 4 in the back. You could use technology. I think there's videos in this section that shows you how to use technology. You can use StatCrunch or the calculator. If it's referring to this area, if you're using the table in the VAC, then the total area is 1 under the curve, and so you would have to look up 1 minus 0.1 or 0.9. You'd have to look up 0.9 in the table 4 in the back, or you could use technology. And if it's two-tailed test, you got to take half of the critical value. Half of 0.1 would be 0.05. Then you could look that up in the table, and you get a negative value. And then since it's symmetric here, just be positive. Okay, and I like drawing a graph when they're asking this. And here they've done it for the popular case. If the area to here is 0.1, and it's a left-tailed, and the z-score, the critical value, is minus 1.28. This area here's 0.1, that's on the right, and the z-score is positive 1.28. And then if it's 0.05, if it's two-tailed, if you looked in the table, you get negative 1.645, and then also the positive one by the symmetry. Hope this helps.